Guys, welcome to Maths with Dan. Today we're going over the second part to the foundation paper. From my email to email about private tuition, it will be in the description. And let's get to it. Starting off then, the last lesson we finished on question 11. This is our question 12. There are two in a group. One group there are 36 boys and 48 girls. In the other group, there are 3 out of 7 of the students are boys and the rest of the students are girls. Anna says the ratio of number of boys to the number of girls is the same for both groups. Is Anna correct? So with this, you pretty much got to do the amount of boys, because in the thing it says in the other group, 3 out of 7 students of the group are boys. So you want to see the boy to girl ratio in the other group. So you do 36 plus 40. You do 36 for the amount of boys over the total amount of students. 36 plus 48, because you want to see the boys to the student ratio. So you put that together. You add the denominator. So you do 36 plus 48. So it's 40, 50, 60, 70, 82. 36 over 84, I meant 36 over 84. You divide that by, then you want to break it down to the smallest fraction that you can. So you divide it by 2 to begin with. I always found that the easiest. So 18 over 42. Then you divide that by 2 again. 9 over 21. And then you can see that the ratio is 3 over 7 to go. So to get 9 over 21 to 3 over 7, you then divide it by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So the actual answer is 3 over 7. So yes, she is correct. The ratio is the same. He was right. So you divide it by 2 there, and then divide it by 3 on this one. So yep, she is correct. Then with the next one, this is sequences. I might go over this topic at some point. But the sequence is 1, 2, 4. Emma says that the next term is 7. Explain why Emma may be correct. So you see how it goes 1 to 2 to 4. With any sort of sequence, you see the difference. So 1 to 2 is 1. 2 to 4 is 2. So that has gone up by 1. So the next one will go up by 3. Because 1, 2, the next one will go up by 3. So because 4 plus 3 is 7. So in the box, you'd write something like, the first term from 1 to 2 went up by 1. The next term from 2 to 4 went up by 2. So the next term should go up by 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. You would write something along the lines just to make the examiner know like what you're doing and you actually understand what's going on. And in the next question, it says, I'll just type this out first just for you guys to know. Equals 7. In the next one, it says the first 4 terms of the sequences of triangles of the numbers are 1, 3, 6, and 10. So we do the same thing again. You do 1 to 3, difference is 2. 3 to 6, difference is 3. 6 to 10, difference is 4. Alright, underneath so you guys see what's going on. You guys are always free to pause it and see if you can do it yourself before I then go through it. That's what I'd always recommend. So 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 10. So 1 to 3 is 2, 3 to 6 is 6, is 3, 6 to 10 is 4. See how that's then going up by 1. So that's 1n is going up by. You could then create a formula with this. However, it's only 8 terms, so you can just quickly do it in your head. Or you could do it the formula method. I will show you step by step how I actually got to 36 though. But in your head you can be like, okay, so 10 plus 5 is then 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. 21 plus 7 is 28. 28 plus 8 is 36. But I'll write it out step by step. So the next term, 15, then the next term, 21, the next term, 28, the next term, 36. However, we all make mistakes, so I realised that I was off by 1, but the answer is 36. Then with this expanding, you've got 2a plus d, so 2 on the outside. You see this? Any expanding, I do have a video on this. You do 2 times a, 2 times d, so it's 2a plus 2d. The next one is factorise 6y squared minus 5y. This sort of question, you see no numbers can be factorised on the outside, so you can bring the y on the outside. So you do y times what equals 6y squared, which is 6y, and then y times what equals minus 5y, that's minus 5. So, and then this one, when it says solve, it basically wants you to find x. So put the numbers onto one side, so 7 goes onto the other side. 37 plus 7 is 44, and then 44 divided by 4 is 11. This sort of question is a slightly harder one in the foundation, but it says pretty much Jasper's saying that x could be 0.5, and you need to explain why he can't be correct. So you put 0 in where x is, because he says, so when you put you put 0.5 in where x is, but when you put that in, you end up getting 0, because 4 times 0.5 is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, and a side cannot be 0, so Jasper is incorrect. Next one, AD equals 3AB. So we've been given AB, and it says AD is 3 times that. So AD is 3. And it wants you to find the value of x, and it has kindly given you the perimeter of 64 to do this. Pause it now if you think you can do this. If not, I'll go for it. Because of the shape of it, you know that a lot of the sides are equal. So because AD is 3, 4x minus 2, you know CD is the same. So the perimeter, everything on the outside, so 3, 4x minus 2. And then plus the other two, so you've got plus 4x minus 2 plus 4x minus 2. So pretty much you then arrange this to then find x. So you have 8 lots of 4x minus 2. So 32x. 8 times minus 2 is minus 16. 16 goes on to the other side, so it's 16. You start off by making it equal to 0. But then you then see in the question it says the kite has a perimeter of 64. Therefore, you add 64 to the right hand side. So you do 16 plus 64. I'll just leave it on this page for a second just for you guys to see where I got 8 4x minus 2 from. So you add 64. And to find x, you know, you divide by the number next to x. So you do 16 plus 64 divided by 32. 16 plus 64 is 16, well, 60, 70, 80, 80 divided by 30, that's 2.5. You guys can do it slower, but I like to do it in my head. Remember, it's non-calculator, so you'd have to go for it step by step. And you can see, as you go through each question, each one, it doesn't really get much harder from the next. Like, if I go all the way to the last question, this is the last question, question 28. It's a straight line of the equation, L, y equals 3 minus 4x. Write down the gradient. Remember, the gradient is the number next to the x, so it's minus 4. And the next one is write the coordinates of the point where L crosses the y-axis. So it wants to know where it crosses the y-axis. I know already that it crosses the y-axis at 0 and 3. And I'll explain why in a second and how I came to this. You see how for it to cross the y-axis, x has to be 0. Because when you draw this, see how this is a graph. It's the y sides, then the x sides. Or no, x then y. So for it to cross, x has to be 0. I have labelled it wrong. It should be y on the top, x on the bottom. Just thought I'd let you guys know quickly. But x does have to be 0, so it's 0 and 3. All of these questions and answers can be found on Revision World. I'll show you how to get them quickly at the end, because for you to go through it, because I'm not going to go through every single question. So even when I skip through to the next ones, these sort of questions are quite long. However, I will show you how to get access to them and see the mark scheme, so you guys can see step by step how to go through it. Like, this is another sort of question that you get. You see how I've done one of these before. It gives you the volume, gives you the length, gives you the length as well. So you just do basic, you know, to find the volume, you do the cross section times the length. So the cross section is 5 times the height. And because it's a triangle, you have to do half half 5 times the height times 25, you'll make that equal to 750, because that will then be the volume, and then you then work out the value of h. Same as with like similar sort of question to this. You can see it doesn't really get that hard. The foundation paper is just making sure you don't make silly mistakes. So this is how you find the paper online. So you go to, you can see my history there. At least, thank God it's nothing too bad. But you go to Revision World. Then on this, you go to the papers. Then you then go to maths. Check that you're doing Edexcel maths, because that's what I'm currently teaching. So you go to Edexcel maths, and then it'll be the first paper at the top, and that's how you get it. Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you followed along and thought it was alright, give it a like, and I'll see you in the next video.